Hi everybody, it's Robbin Crafter, and I'm going to show you the products I used for this 50th anniversary card I made for a friend of mine. Her parents will be celebrating their 50th anniversary this week. So these are the products I used. I used a butterfly from this. This is in the, I believe this was in the bridal section at either Michael's or Hobby Lobby. So I used one of these butterflies. And then of course I used some of the wonderful rose ribbon that we all love. I used this Robbin buff on the clock to make it gold. And I love these little clocks. I watch for these sales on this to be 50% off, so I can go buy them at Hobby Lobby. And then I used a couple of these buttons that they're plastic, but I used the Robbin buff on them to make them look a little bit nicer. I used these chipboard stickers from Hobby Lobby. I used the Robbin buff on them. On the Glimmer Mist, and I'm going to stop umming. The Glimmer Mist, I used the Moonlight, the Snow Queen, and then I also used a little bit of my Ghostly Gargoyle White from Lindy Stamp Gang. Starburst, that's the Halloween stuff. And then I used a little bit of some Prima. And these two stamps and a couple of these little snowflakes from this Martha Stewart stamp set. And I used clear and white embossing powder from Stampin' Up! Is what I use. And then here is the card. I think it's great. I love the card. I know Laura and Dean will love it too. They wanted something winter, not Christmas. And I thought the white rose ribbon was perfect for this project. So I'm going to explain what I did. First thing I did was, and I used Gina K 120 pound white cardstock on this piece and then the card, because I needed a heavy card since this is heavy. And then before I forget, I mounted this, just a peak of gold coming out with a die cut with a view metallic stack. So okay, now let's get to explaining. What I did was I actually used this stamp, not the other one I was showing, and this one. And these are from a 99-cent, whoop, 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 from Memories on 5th Street. So what I did was I used this stamp, and I stamped it and did clear emboss. And this one snowflake right here, I kind of measured out where I wanted this ribbon to be. Well, I didn't I did. And I purposely stamped this one here so it looked like the ribbon just didn't stop in the middle of nowhere, that it just kind of, the snowflake is where it hit. And then I sprayed it with the Moonlight. And I took a piece of paper towel and I rubbed it over the snowflakes to wipe it off. And then I used this stamp, and I stamped again with a little of these little ones from this stamp set, and I white embossed those on top of that. I was hoping for a little bit more dimension between the clear and the white, but I think it turned out great now that I've added everything to it. And then I sprayed some of the Snow Queen on it. And it still didn't have, I wanted a little bit more, so I tested this on another piece, and it just gave it enough shimmer, a little bit more shimmer. And what I took the piece of white rose ribbon and put it around the corner. I used fabric tack to tack that down. And then I took 2 more pieces of the rose ribbon and stuck it there. And then I took these buttons, and I think I will be buying a whole lot more of this Rub and Buff to use. Now these are just, and I don't know if you can even, and I'm sure all you gals know what I'm talking about, but the gold on here is just cheap looking. Once I got this home and was really, so I'll be using the Rub and Buff on these buttons a whole lot. And my little clock there, I used the Rub and Buff on there, and I hot glued all these down. And then I put the Prima Pearls down, and then that's when I kind of positioned my years. Then I glued down my butterfly before I put the years on. This part. So I knew it was showing. And then I added the little bit of pearls here. And then I glued down the 50 and the years. And I always, and I'm drawing a blank on how I want to explain my lettering. Jagged, because I can never get anything in a straight line. I've used rulers, I've used lines, I've done everything, can't get it straight. So I jagger it. Is that the right word? Anyway. So it looks like I did it on purpose, and then that way it doesn't look uneven. So that is my card for Laura and Dean, and I just know they're going to love it. If you guys have any questions, give me a holler, and have a great weekend.